Welcome to the Outer Darkness Happy Hour podcast. We're John and Ashley.
This is not your typical Exmo Nevermo podcast.
We're here to share our stories, but we want to hear yours.
So grab a drink and pull up a chair and let's talk about life in the outer darkness.
This episode contains discussion of sexual abuse and trauma. If you or someone you know needs support, please reach out to the RAIN National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE.
Hi, welcome to the Outer Darkness Happy Hour podcast. I'm Ashley and I'm an Evermo.
And I'm John and I'm an Exmo.
Today we have Stephanie on our show and she's going to share with us her crazy story.
Yes. So I'm an Exmo. I have 4 kids. I'm remarried. Kind of at a standstill in my career right now because of some health issues. But I am excited to share my story.
So let's cheers to that.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. I'll let you lean
Cheers,
in front.
Steph.
Cheers.
So real quick, we met Steph on TikTok. I love your handle on TikTok. What is it again?
Culty Steph.
Culty Steph.
Yeah, so go give her a follow. It's amazing. So we want you to start wherever you feel comfortable starting with your story. So where do you think is a good point to introduce yourself to our audience? And
I think we have to start at the beginning with my parents.
okay.
So my mom was a convert to the church. She was introduced to the church through her foster family that she went to when she was 15 years old. So they were Mormon, and she finished high school with them. Actually, she completely went through high school with them, and then they sent her to LDS Business College in Utah, and that's where she met my dad, who is from Wyoming, and my dad's family settled in Wyoming like in the late 1800s. So it seems like they've been Mormon for generations now, from what I can find. So my father was a return missionary. You know, he had a family history in the church, and on paper he looked like a great guy. So my parents, they met in, I want to say 1969. They married in 1970 in the Salt Lake City Temple, and then they started having kids immediately. So I am the seventh child from my father.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you guys pretty much back to back?
Yeah. So my 2 oldest siblings are only 13 months apart.
Wow. Like Irish twins.
Yeah, like Irish twins.
Yeah.
So it goes my oldest and then my sister Rebecca. She's passed away, so I'll talk about her pretty openly. But she was 13 months younger, and then my other brother was 18 months younger than she was, and then we've got another 18 months, and then 2 years. There's 3 years between my sister that's just older than me and me. So there was a big house.
Yeah.
It's a big house. But my father was in the Air Force. He was a cook in the military, and they kind of traveled the world. They got married, and then they went to Germany. I believe that's where my older sister was born. I may be confusing my brother and my sister there, but one of my siblings was born in Germany. Another was born in the Azores. My parents were stationed in Iran in 1976. So my oldest siblings were, lived in Iran, which was cool. And then I was born over by the military base in North Hollywood. There's an Air Force base there.
Okay.
So I was actually born at home. Fun story.
Like a surprise?
No, I was a planned home birth.
Okay.
I don't know why she planned the home birth, but she did. I guess it didn't go very smoothly. It sounds like I was born with complications. My umbilical cord was tied in a knot, and it was wrapped around my neck. So It's kind of scary to do a home birth, I guess. I was the only home birth out of all
Out of
of
all,
her
they
8
just
children.
decided to do that with you. Lucky you.
I don't know. But the interesting thing is, she didn't report my birth in time. So my birth date on my birth certificate is not my actual birth date.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know my actual birth date.
It's not like you were born in the 1800s.
I know. That's
Right. So I was born. I was born sometime after Thanksgiving, but before Christmas. And so on my birth certificate, she turned it in January 28th of 1985. And so she put December 28th, 1984 as my birthday. So there wouldn't be a fee to pay.
You should get to celebrate your birthday for like a solid 6 weeks because of this. I
Right?
think.
Right?
Yeah, because it could be any day.
So when I met my husband, I was celebrating my birthday in November because it was more convenient for me, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, wait, when's your birthday?
You may never know.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, my family was they were interesting anyway, but my dad looked really great on paper. He always had a calling. My mom usually always had a calling too. And then in California, when I was about 9 months old, according to the police paperwork, the police documentation, but it says that my sister caught my dad molesting me as an infant. So my mom started going to the bishop at that point for counseling. So the bishop understood at that point what was happening, and he understood there was infants involved, okay? And my mother decided to stay with him for a while. So she didn't actually divorce him until 4 years later, in 1989, after they had moved from California to Spokane, Washington. So it seems like something else happened in Spokane, Washington, where my older sister ended up reporting my dad assaulting her. And so at that point, law enforcement had to get involved. And he was charged with indecent liberty with the child, is what it was. And he was sentenced to 6 months prison time. And the court paperwork describes child rape and infant rape, like the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And they called it indecent liberty with the child. He was given 6 months time, and he was let out in 3 months on good behavior.
Wow. Good behavior.
Good behavior.
There weren't any babies in prison for him to harm, so.
No, right.
So,
right.
of course, he was good behavior, yeah.
Right. So that's how I start out my life. My first core memories are, I remember courtrooms. Like, I somewhat remember being in the courtroom. I clearly don't remember the full thing, testifying what I was asked, because, I wasn't quite 5 yet. But, I don't know, it sets in your body, if that makes sense.
Yeah, your body remembers.
So that's my dad. And my brother actually has the full paperwork for it. I had it for a while. Yeah. And I'd gone over it. And it made me suicidal. So I had to get rid of it. And because we can't replace the paperwork, I gave it to my brother to hold on to. So, yeah. Then my mom, she ended up remarrying about 6 months later. Okay? So she marries this guy named Alan. And Alan is Cindy's dad. And
Cindy's your stepsister.
Cindy's my half-sister.
Half-sister.
My younger
Sorry,
half-sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Alan was interesting. Alan, he rode a motorcycle and he had a lazy eye, so he wore a patch over his eye. And his motorcycle cap was very similar to yours, but it was leather. And then he had a vest that he wore. And that's like what I remembered the most about him because I was young.
Yeah.
But okay, so they ended up getting divorced. Okay. And how it happened was, it's really kind of interesting. So my sister that's just barely older than I, she's 3 years older than me. We got into all sorts of trouble together. So we had what we called the Black Cats Club. And I was 6 and she was 9.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay, right? And so we would climb trees and spy on people and write notes about it.
Oh, you document it. That's awesome.
I wanted to be a journalist when I grew up.
Oh, you did?
Isn't that funny?
Oh, yeah.
Spy. CIA.
Yeah. So we wrote it all down and documented it. And so one day she and I were climbing this cherry tree that was behind my mother's bedroom. There was a window in the closet to my mother's bedroom. Well, she and I were up in the top of this cherry tree and we're spying. And then we noticed my stepdad through the window. And Alan he's wearing my mother's square dancing outfit and dancing around in her bedroom. And this is 1991. We're Mormon. It goes
I could just
over.
I'm picturing it. Yeah.
Right? It goes over
like the word do-si-do.
Right. So my sister and I were like, oh my gosh, we have to tell everyone.
We're to tell everyone.
As you're documenting it, you document everything.
We have to tell everyone.
Yeah.
And we're up there laughing.
Yeah.
We saw
Trying a
Alan.
sketch of what he's doing.
Right? Like we saw Alan in Mom's clothes. Okay. It was a little alarming.
Oh my gosh.
But he also divulged around the same time that he was a Satanist. Interesting enough. So he was a Mormon Satanist.
Yeah.
So my mother swears that he put a curse on my younger sister Cindy, okay, in her car seat. So think about this. Cindy is cursed now as a baby. My mom fully believes this, right? And so we are living in Washington, in Aberdeen, Washington at the time, okay? And we're in this red house that's on the corner of the street, and it's directly across from the post office on one of the main streets in town, okay? So my mom gets home from her job because she had a thrift store that she owned at the mall that she operated and ran. So she comes home, and we tell her about what we saw. And as you can imagine, it didn't go over well.
No.
It did not go over well. And it ended with my older brother being thrown through a plate glass window. And so someone else called the police. And so then again, we had to go to court and we had to testify against my stepfather for abuse. Because there had been some severe abuse that went on. Like he was constantly bruising us. If you were on the floor and he was doing something he didn't like, he'd come and kick you, type thing. So there was plenty of proof for a protection order. So my mom got that. And then I have to take a drink real quick.
Oh, that's
because
fine.
you're going to love it.
That's why they're
even better.
Well, I'll take a drink.
It's even better.
So this is Alan we're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The square dancing, cross-dressing Mormon Satanist.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I
Get that on a shirt.
Yes, and I have one memory of going to the woods with him, and there were all these people standing around in a circle, and they were all wearing white shirts and black pants. They looked like they belonged in sacrament meeting in the middle of the woods. That's all I can remember, right? So I don't think there was anything sexual that went on there because I was old enough to have remembered that at that point. So I don't know what that ceremony was, but I was 6 at the time. whatever that was that happened. Okay, so all right, so here it is. It's like the middle of May, the day after my brother's birthday, my oldest brother's birthday. So we're sleeping, and at like 6 a.m, we hear this loud kaboom in front of the house, right? And we go out, and my brother's Pinto had been smashed in a hit and run between our 15-passenger van and their car. So what had happened was my oldest brother, who he was taken away when my dad went to jail. He was taken away, and he was put in a foster care position, and he was raised separate than us. So he was 19 at this point. He was dating a girl who had a boyfriend at the time. Okay, so she's cheating on her boyfriend with my older brother. Yep. And this guy happens to be a weed dealer, okay? And he happened to be Mexican. Mm-hmm. But so was the girl he was cheating on with. Like, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So Home Fry finds out that my brother is sleeping with his girlfriend, finds out where she lives, and he comes and smashes her car. Mm-hmm. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My mother interpreted as the Mexican mafia is after us. Okay?
As one would.
Yes,
of course.
As one would.
Very linear.
All right, right? Oh, gosh. I truly believe that my father broke her brain. And I truly believe that she had untreated bipolar. Like, that's what makes sense to me now as an adult. But as a 6-year-old, no, I was 7 at this point. Yeah. The Mexican mafia was out to get us, right? And Cindy was cursed by my stepdad. So what does my mom do? She goes to a map and she says, we have to break this curse. So she literally throws a dart on a map, and it lands at Pennsylvania, and that's where we moved.
From Washington.
Okay, right? So they get, like, we're talking the 15th of...
She couldn't aim for Seattle.
I know, right? I guess you have to be so far away to break the curse. Oh. I don't quite understand it because I don't believe in it.
Yeah. Yeah, how can you understand that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Pennsylvania it was, and we rented a Penske truck, loaded everything in it, and we left in the middle of the night. We left everyone except for my older sister, Rebecca. So Becky stayed in Aberdeen at that point. She was 18, and she didn't want to go, right? She had a boyfriend, and she wanted to graduate high school, and she was done with my mom's shenanigans. So my mother threatened to duct tape her and put her in the back of the moving van. And I heard all this as a child. So my oldest sister moved her boxes out, had a friend move some of her boxes out so she could escape her own home in the middle of the night and get away. So my mother couldn't find her and duct tape her and make her go with us, because she really would have done that. Mm-hmm. Like, I fully believe she would have done that. So thank goodness Becky got to stay behind. But the other 7 of us went, and Cindy was about almost a year at this point. So
a baby.
So just a little baby, not even walking yet. And she's just stuck in a car seat. So we get about as far as Portland when my brother hits this overpass that he doesn't clear, and so it like rolls the top off the moving van, right?
Like a can opener.
Right. Yeah, like
it's
a
all
can
part
opener.
Of the curse.
Yeah, it's all part of the curse. So we have to put our stuff in storage, and that takes all the money my mom had pretty much. And she decided it was a good idea for us to buy a tent and stay in Tent City in Portland. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen.
I've seen it many times in Portland.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's a tent city.
It's a tent city. Yeah,
Yes.
There's like half tent, half shed buildings that people have built, and they've lived there for years, and
Fire
they're
pits,
established.
even
Yes,
places. Yeah.
yes, it is not a place for kids,
No.
right?
Yeah.
So we were there for a couple weeks when someone came to do like homeless outreach and took pity on us, and her name was Bonnie, and so Bonnie set us up to go to a shelter, which was awesome in Portland. But the shelter separated the children, the little girls, from teenage boys, which is very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart to do. And my older brothers were 19, 17, and 13 at the time. So they had to stay elsewhere in another shelter. And then my sister and I, so it was my sister that's 3 years older. She doesn't want her name used, so I'm trying not to use it. So it was the three of us little ones and my mom staying in the shelter that I remember, and then the boys had to stay in a separate shelter. So we only did that for a couple weeks, and then Bonnie was like, hey, why don't you, if you want, you can pitch a tent in our yard, and you can stay there until you get, stuff fixed so you can move on.
Wow.
So, yeah, right? Super, super nice couple.
Yeah.
Very nice couple. And we were there for a few weeks, and I remember my mom complaining, saying that we couldn't stay too long because she drank coffee and she was a bad influence. And looking back, this woman pulled us out of Tent City. She brought us to her home. She gave us clothes. She gave us food. And she was the most kind person I've ever encountered in my life. And, I can't imagine saying she's such a good person, but she drinks coffee, so she's a bad influence.
Yeah.
No, this woman just she did an amazing thing for you.
Yeah.
My mom's just like, we got to move on fast because they're not Mormon. We can't stay here.
Because you've had great luck with Mormons so far.
Right. Right. So I will always, always, always be grateful, to Bonnie and Les. And, I remember some really great time there. They had a duck pond in the back, and I remember playing around the duck pond and the abandoned cars, and, it was safe.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
I'm sure her and her husband have helped a lot of people. So that's
I'm sure. But my mother wouldn't stay in the house because there was coffee in the house and alcohol in the house.
Yeah, you can't understand that.
I cannot
connect the dots
understand this. I can't grasp it in my mind. Weird.
Yeah.
So we're finally in Pennsylvania right before I turn 8. So I turn 8 in Pennsylvania, and I get baptized there. And we were there for quite a while, 18 months. That was a long time for us, honestly. So we were there until my sister and I were doing our Black Cats Club thing.
Yeah. Neighborhood watch.
Watch, I'm nosy, okay?
Yeah.
I'm nosy. I'm not necessarily judging. I'm just
You just want to know what's going on.
Yeah. Right? So we're looking out the window, and so I gotta explain this. So in Uniontown, there was this really low income housing that we lived in. Mm-hmm. And then down the alleyway from it was a bar, and it was like a dive bar. So my sister and I are watching out the window, and we see this guy get killed because in a bar fight. And we're like, Mom! And my mom goes, oh my God, well, she didn't say God. Okay, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness gracious is what she would say. Oh my goodness gracious, the Mexican mafia has found us.
Again, obvious conclusion.
Obvious conclusion. Yeah.
Poor guys.
I know. So, by this time, my oldest brother has moved away. He really wanted to attend Penn State, and he had his own dreams, so he just left and did his own thing. So there was just 6 of us left at that point. And my mom decided to move back to Utah. Okay, so that trip went pretty smoothly. I mean, it took us a few months, but we made it, like, within a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
From Pennsylvania to
From
Salt Lake
Pennsylvania
City.
to Salt Lake City, Utah.
That's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
You're like the Pilgrims.
Right? Except we were now in this station wagon. It was like a 1980s station wagon. And it was cute. It had the wood panels on the side, but it was so old that it had a hole in the floorboard. And there were 6 of us, like in the back, the very back of the car. And there were 6 of us, so we had to ride in the back of the car where the, holes in the floorboard. So we would sit there and like shove stuff through the hole in the floorboard. Right. I also at that trip, I put up a sign saying, "Help me, I'm kidnapped."
Just in case. You're like, the right people might see it.
Right, just in case somebody saved me.
Yeah. You were 7?
I was 9 at that point.
9, okay.
So how old were you during Tent City?
7.
7? Okay.
That's
And
a
Tent
lot.
City was rough.
So were you, back to Tent City real quick, were you all in sleeping bags or on cots? I mean, how did you,
No, we had just blankets.
just blankets?
Inside the tent.
Yeah, we just had blankets inside the
Okay.
tent. So, yeah, no, we weren't cool enough to have sleeping bags and cots.
Sorry.
No.
I'm trying to imagine that. The living
7 children.
situation there.
6, 7 children.
No, like it was a luxury to get a toothbrush at that point in my life. So, like, I didn't have my needs met. We didn't have adequate food, we didn't have adequate clothing, we didn't have adequate shelter. It sucked.
So when you were making the trip from Pennsylvania to Salt Lake as a kid, you're 9 years old, and you obviously still vividly remember Tent City. Were you kind of afraid you were going to end up somewhere like that? Like make it to Salt Lake?
Yeah, because along the way, we stopped and stayed at homeless shelters. And then my mom decided that campgrounds were better than Tent City. So we just started living in campgrounds. Yeah.
So it was kind of an unnerving 3 months, right? Not knowing if you're actually going to get where you were going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And, my younger sisters growing up in all of this chaos. Like, can you imagine not having anywhere for your baby to learn to walk?
Well, and she went being so young when you guys started the
was-
journey. She doesn't
she
really
was almost a
remember
year.
anything else, right?
Yeah, right. So, she was just in this chaos. And I remember on the way back from Pennsylvania to Utah, she had her 3rd birthday. And I remember us stopping at a grocery store and we sang happy birthday in between, like, the moving van and the car. And that was her birthday party.
Poor baby.
Yeah, like she didn't have toys to play with. Like she didn't have opportunities for her little brain to grow and really be nourished. It's I guess it's, I don't know, not really possible at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, you're all kind of living in fight or flight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nonstop.
Absolutely.
Nonstop. No downtime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with the Mexican mafia after us.
Yes. And believing it because you're so little.
Right. Well,
and your mom is telling you this. Of course. How would you know
Right?
any different?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we get to Utah and we're homeless. So my mom goes to the church for help. And they put us up in this motel called the All-Star Motel. And it's downtown, and it's by the old, the old Salt Lake Community College area.
Oh.
And there's El Rancho Motel across the street from it. And that was like a known human trafficking pub, like a known...
Great place to take your kids.
Yeah, great place to take your kids. It was a known very dangerous area, okay? So they put us there, and we were there for several months. And then, oh gosh, this is a fun story too. So we didn't have a house, and my mom loved to drive around neighborhoods and look at houses and dream about having a house because we had been pretty perpetually homeless from the time that she left my dad, right, in 89. So we were homeless more than we weren't at that point. So we were driving around up Capitol Hill, like in our station wagon, and this red car comes speeding through and hits us straight on. And it was like speeding, like going like 40 miles an hour or something. It was going fast. Anyway, it totaled the vehicle. And there was so much force that I flew from the very back of the station wagon through the windshield, and I landed on the street in front, right? So I'm like 10 at this point, right? And I remember just like standing up and running as fast as I can, like just running down the street. And then I remember like one of the neighbors that observed the car accident like grabbed me and, you know, forced me to lay down on the grass. So I ended up in Primary Children's Hospital for about a week. So the first, I broke my collarbone, and I had a fracture in my skull. And the first x-rays they did, they thought that I crushed my collarbone, and I had like a crack in my skull. Okay. So my mom has the bishop come and give me a blessing, right? And they do the x-rays over again. And I only have a hairline fracture, is what it turns out. Like, they misdiagnosed with the break, okay? So I have a hairline fracture in my collarbone and a hairline fracture in my skull, and that's it. So my mom says, oh my gosh, oh my goodness gracious. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness gracious. You, like, the Lord healed you. The Lord loves you so much. He healed you. And it strengthened her testimony so much. Right? Because, you know.
Power of the priesthood.
Yeah, power of the priesthood. This girl, like, flew through the windshield. Yeah. And she only survived, like, with the blessing. She has a hairline fracture, and that's it. Right? Incredible.
We need to find that bishop and come like, my neck hurts. Let's fix this. Come on.
The Lord's like, I'll just make this a hairline fracture.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I won't heal her completely. She needs to suffer a little.
Yeah. She's got to learn.
Did like a half-ass healing. Like, come on, you're going to heal all the way.
She's going to learn today.
That'll teach you to go flying through a windshield, Missy. Yeah.
So, because the gentleman that hit us was an undocumented immigrant, he took off running from the accident.
Mexican mafia?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
The Mexican mafia was after us. So we had to move again. Okay, but we stayed in Salt Lake this time. Okay? Oh, thank heavens. We just moved from the All-Star Motel to like a really old house, just like a couple miles away. So we were living there for, oh God, it wasn't even that long. It was like 4 or 5 months. Things were going great, right? We were all in school. I was making friends. I had friends at church. Things were great. My brother was dating a girl, okay? And he was my oldest brother left at home at this point. He was dating a girl at high school that he met at high school. And they went on a date and they didn't come home on time. So my brother missed his curfew. And my mother decided to go to his girlfriend's house to go get my brother. Okay? So they're there at the house. We'll call her L. At L's house with L's dad. And my brother is E. Okay? So my mom goes to pick up E and she meets L's dad. And they start talking. And this is literally February 1st, 1995. Okay? My mother then married L's dad on February 14th, 1995. 13 days later. Yeah.
So what is your brother thinking?
So now E and L are step siblings?
Now they're step siblings that are sleeping together. Great. So they're going to school together and everyone finds out and they get fully made fun of.
Of course.
Yeah. Can you imagine doing that to your kid?
Yeah, let's add some more trauma in there.
That sounds like a great idea. Yeah. You're dating this girl.
Yeah.
Why don't I just date her dad?
Yeah.
And get married.
In 13 days.
Yeah.
And then let's move her into the same house. Okay? So at that point, on February 15th, 1995, that is when I met my step siblings. Okay? So Mike, my stepdad, he had 3 daughters, and they are the same age as my sister Rebecca, and another one of my brothers, and then my other brother E. So they're the same age as my siblings. So that is also when I met my abuser. So his name's Richard Daniel Forrester. And I have a brother with a similar name. We always called this guy Dan, but my brother's name is Dan, and so I don't want any confusion there. So he is Richard, even though people knew him as Dan. Okay. So Richard moved in on the 15th of February, 1995. Okay. I was still 10. And so
Richard was your stepsister's
husband.
Okay.
And he is 13 years older. Okay, so just for clarification, he's 13 years older. So I was 10, that made him 23. So he was the type that he would come and try and pick me up, and then he would try and tickle me, and his hands would go into my pants, and he would try and assault me. So I started just screaming bloody murder, anytime he came around and tried to touch me. In fact, I made it so my body no longer responded to tickles. I made myself not ticklish anymore. I made it so you could try and tickle me and I wouldn't respond. And if I did respond, I would end up probably kicking you in the face. I became violent and I became loud at that point. Because it was the only way I could protect myself.
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
Yeah, I went and told my parents that he's doing this, and they're like, it was an accident. No, it's not an accident when you stick your finger inside someone else.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No.
That is never accidental.
No.
And I'm sorry to be so crass, but I can't use certain words, and so, that won't get cut weirdly.
No.
So yeah, and Richard is also my younger sister's abuser. So Cindy was 4 when she met him. And I know if I had to fight him off, that she did too, you know. So they lived with us off and on forever, for as long as I can remember. Like they lived with us like off and on like the whole time. Okay. So, all right. Now we're going to like fast forward a little bit to next year when I am 11. Okay. So my mother has always done like, she's always made baby clothes and she's always done crafts.
Yeah.
And she's always done like little side projects for as long as I can remember. Like when I was tiny, we would like get river rocks, and then we would spray them like black, and then we would spray a spider web with another color, and then put the spider web on the rock, and we would like sell those at farmers markets and stuff. So my mother decided she was going to start selling mistletoe, and mistletoe is only found in certain parts of the country.
Okay.
But it's a parasite that grows on oak trees.
Uh-huh.
And it is, it's a Christmas plant. So it's known as the kissing plant.
Uh-huh.
So from about October, we would go and drive down to Oregon. And we would harvest this mistletoe. And we would sleep in the tents while we were doing that. And that was a few weeks. And then, okay, so to harvest it, okay, harvesting it is not safe either.
Yeah.
Okay. And they would have us kids harvest it. And it was me and my sister that's just barely older than me. Mm-hmm. We'll call her Kay.
Okay.
Okay. Kay is, she's 3 years older than me. So it was she and I that would go and we would climb up these oak trees with a big knife, with a big serrated knife with no sheath. And we would cut off the mistletoe from the oak trees, like 20, 30 feet in the air. Wow. Not safe at all.
No.
And so we would do this and we'd cut all of it down and then gather it up and put it in trash bags. And then you just freeze it as fast as possible and it'll last until like Christmas time. So we would get home and we would package it all up and we would package it in like a baggie and then put the label on top, Mistletoe Creations. Mm-hmm. We were the only place in Salt Lake that you could get it. So we went door-to-door sales. Mm-hmm. And it was me and Kay that was responsible for selling like all of this mistletoe that we had collected. Like I said, you couldn't get real mistletoe anywhere else, so we sold it for $5 a pop. Right? Yeah.
Door to door as an 11-year-old.
Little girls.
Door to door as an 11-year-old selling mistletoe. It was scary. Like,
Yeah.
Did you go together as pairs or did you?
No, not at first. Not at first. No, they would drop us off on different streets, and
See where this is going?
yeah, they would drop us off at different streets, and then we would meet up. And that worked just fine until we started getting flashed. You know, both my sister and I got flashed going door to door. There was one guy that answered the door in his towel, and he was holding the towel, and he tried to grab my arm. And I'm like, oh no, I know what you're doing,
Yeah.
right? And then there was another one that answered the door in his robe and just let it fall open, completely open, with his junk hanging out. And my sister had a similar event where someone came to the door in the towel and dropped his towel. And I was 11, so she was 14. Okay? And this had happened multiple times. So finally, like in certain neighborhoods, we would go together as pairs. But we would start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we would go until we had sold 100 mistletoes, which is $500 a day. So if we didn't get if we didn't sell the 100 mistletoe, we couldn't stop until like about 11 o'clock at night, and we would drive around and look for houses with lights on. They would stop, let us out, and we would go up to the door at 11 o'clock at night and knock on the door. And I cannot imagine sending my 11-year-old door to door.
Yeah.
Like,
At
let
all,
alone-
let alone
right?
11 o'clock at night. Yeah.
let alone having them make my
Yeah.
income.
Yeah.
Right? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, if we wanted to warm up, like, and eat, we had to get to a certain monetary amount. Like, we had to get $200 before we could eat and warm up, or we weren't allowed in the car. And we didn't have, like, winter gear. Like, we had shoes with holes in them. We didn't have gloves. We didn't have hats. We didn't have proper coats. You know, and it's
Yeah.
winter in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, 'tis the season. Yeah, so my mom also had her shop that she started in her storefront that she had in the business habitat. And what that is it's like a little business community place. So they had a little cafe inside, and that was run by another family that lived in a bus behind the business habitat. And then they had like all sorts of companies in there, like Martin Doors was in there. That was their big one. And then they had CTE, which is a trucking company, and they had an electrical company, and it was fine for a while. Like at first, before we moved to the business habitat, like we were just doing janitorial work, and that was okay. Like it wasn't too tough. But then, like my mom, she couldn't afford the space any longer. So, and we were also getting evicted. So the gentleman that owns the place, his name, I don't think he's still alive, but his name is Eric Hale, and he was in the stake presidency. So he owned the business habitat.
Was it all Mormon families?
Not all Mormon families in the business habitat, but it was definitely like owned and run by Mormons.
Okay.
So then there's this little house. It's like a brick house. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, like 1,000 square foot house that's right in front of the business habitat. And it's close to the Turtle Dome, if you know where that is, in North Salt Lake.
Do you know where?
Turtle Dome.
I guess it's a landmark. Some people
Okay.
know. It's over by there. But the adults decided that we were going to move in the house at this point. And so there was I had 2 brothers, and then my stepsister, and then, okay, so there's 6 kids and 2 adults living in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,000 square foot home. Again,
Oh my
okay?
goodness.
Right?
That's tight.
Yeah, that's tight. We did tight all the time.
Yeah.
Like nobody had room.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the little house that we were working for. So at that point when we moved into the house, then like our duties started getting harder. So then they had us working like all day during the day, and they had us not only doing janitorial work, but then they also had us changing like ballast and light fixtures and running electrical, you know, because small hands can fit places, right? And then like I patched asphalt with them. That was fun. Didn't have the proper gear. They had us retarring the roof.
Which is dangerous for a skilled adult worker.
Yes, and I was maybe 12 at this point. Maybe 12. Okay.
Are there child labor laws to
Yes,
prevent this sort of thing?
there are. You know, there are. And there were child labor laws back then.
Yeah.
So the thing is, my 2 brothers that lived with us, they were 18 and 16. They could have been hired on, right? And he chose not to. He chose to work as all under the table, like the little ones included, for under the table work instead of to hire him. And I mean, this guy, Eric Hale, he was part of the stake presidency for the area, and he could have helped us if he wanted to, but he chose to use little girls for child labor.
Yeah.
Like, like who sees a 12-year-old girl and says, let's have you run some wiring, let's put you on that ladder, let's have you replace that ballast, don't shock yourself, by the way,
Yeah.
like, it's insane. These are trade positions, like,
Yeah.
that they were having us do, these
dangerous ones.
Yeah, dangerous ones. Super dangerous ones.
Yeah.
So at this point, my stepdad ends up getting in a huge fight with my brother B, the one that he's 5 years older than I am. Okay. So he wasn't quite 17 yet. He was still 16. So they got in a fight, and my stepdad's way of getting your attention, and he did it to all the kids, especially the little girls, was to grab you by the throat and pin you up against the wall. Well, my brother B isn't a little tiny 12-year-old girl, so he ended up kicking Mike and like punching him in the face and breaking his ribs. So they abandoned him. He stayed at like my other brother's house, and we moved in the middle of the night without him. They just left him. He
At
was
16? For defending himself against an abuser. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then that brother is gone. So now it's just my sister Kay, me, and my younger sister Cindy at home. And then my parents decide, well, we're going to move to Port Angeles, Washington. So my stepsister and her husband Richard and their kids come with us, and we moved to Port Angeles, Washington. Well, that was crazy. It was crazy. Like my parents, I don't know what they were doing when they would leave, but all of the adults, like my adult stepsister and brother-in-law and my mom and my stepdad, they would leave us for weeks at a time in this extended stay motel in Port Angeles, Washington. They said they were going to they always told us they were going to the, what is it called? The storage unit. That was always their excuse. They had to go pay the storage unit.
And then they would just stay gone?
For weeks. I don't know what they were doing.
Like, where's the storage unit?
Yeah.
Right? I found out we had one in Portland that was pretty much kept up for years and years and years. And there was one in Salt Lake. So were they driving to Portland or were they driving to Salt Lake? I don't know. Either way, like, they were leaving us with all the kids. And I'm talking, there was, my sister Kay was the oldest. So I was like 13 at this point. So she must have been 16.
So are you going to school at the time?
No.
So were you guys like homeschooled? Like they would just say you were homeschooled, but
They said we were homeschooled, but we weren't in school at all. So we didn't have any access to books or anything. Like all we had was the Book of Mormon and sometimes the Bible. But the Book of Mormon was what we had. And I started writing really weird around that time too, because I was trying to write, and I started writing like in scripture language.
And behold.
yeah, because that's all you had.
Therefore, it came to pass.
Therefore, she said, "Shut the fuck up." No, sorry.
That's my kind of language.
But I started writing like this really old school type language.
Yeah.
Like I would write, I was 12 years of age, and
Oh, wow.
Well, if you were a boy, you could have said you were a prophet and written in
I know.
the old tongue.
If you had the priesthood, that'd have been a whole different story.
I know. It's a little embarrassing to admit that, actually.
Yeah.
But I think there's other homeschooled Christians that can like relate
yeah.
to that.
Yeah, I knew some. So,
And it's
yeah.
kind of funny now.
Yeah.
You know, now that I no longer write in that
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah. So it's a talent you can tap into when you need.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So in Washington, I'm living in Port Angeles, Washington, and I report to the bishop that I am being abused again. Right? So we move. And they move out for just a little bit, and we move to Oregon, and we're just living in tents. And
Who moved out?
so Richard
Richard and
and
your
his wife
stepsister.
and my stepsister.
They
yeah.
moved out, okay.
So they moved out with their kids because I told my parents again that I was being assaulted again. And I was getting really violent. Really violent. Like I wanted to start sleeping with knives under my pillow. Violent.
Yeah.
Because when you have someone that comes in and messes with you when you're sleeping as a child, it makes you very angry and volatile and violent. So not only was I screaming bloody murder, like
Yeah.
I'm talking like screaming at the top of my lungs, bloody murder.
Yeah.
But I was also getting physically violent with it too because I needed to protect myself.
Yeah.
You know, because you're raised in the church. What is that quote from Spencer W. Kimball? That quote, it's better to die clean than to, or die unclean than to, no, it's better to die clean,
Clean.
than live without fighting,
Yeah.
right? So that's the mindset I was raised on.
Is that from the Miracle of Forgiveness?
Yeah.
Remember that book?
Yeah.
We
hate
haven't
that
talked about,
book.
we haven't talked about that yet. It's a
That's
whole
an
other, that's a whole
evil
other
book.
episode. It really is an evil book.
It's an evil book.
There's
I'll
so
show-
many
I'll show
books
it to
in
you later.
religion that are just to justify the evil that religion causes and to
Right?
excuse behavior, right?
Right?
It's sickening.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So, yeah, I was getting pretty violent. I was also struggling with suicidal ideation. Probably, honestly, a little homicidal ideation if I had a knife under my pillow.
Well, you were a child.
I was a
And-
child.
yeah.
I was 12 at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just was trying to protect my virtue, which you shouldn't have to from your fucking family.
No.
Right? Like,
Your
that
family's
should be
supposed
a
to protect you.
no-brainer, right? Excuse me. So we move again. And we move back to, we moved to Oregon for a little bit. And we stayed in a campground. And then my sister Kay, she always wanted to be a forest ranger. Like from the time she was tiny, she wanted to be a forest ranger. So she was talking to this forest ranger that was taking care of the campground that we were living at. And the forest ranger took pity on us, and especially her. And he's like, well, there is this abandoned forest service, like forest ranger service station in Alsea. And there's only a couple people living there. It's out of commission. And we need people, like we need to hire someone to do inventory. So they ended up hiring my stepdad to do inventory. So we lived on the abandoned ranger station, which was cool as heck.
Yeah.
Like cool as heck.
Yeah.
Because it backed up to BLM land. And let me tell you, I disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really started running away at that point. Like really, really running away and trying to get away at that point. Yeah. So we were moving around Oregon. And then, let's see here. we would move every 3 to 6 months on average. So it's really hard to keep track of this. By the time I was taken away, I had moved 34 times that I could remember and that I had written down. Right? So it's kind of hazy, and I'm not going to hit all the points.
Yeah.
So we moved back and forth between Oregon, Washington, and Utah for the most part. And we lived in Idaho too. But for the most part, we would come back to Utah for the winter months because of mistletoe season. Because Utah has a good economy, and they could, I think, make enough money to save up for a little while to do all their shenanigans. So we moved back to, okay, so, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, okay, so we moved back to Utah. No, I have to talk about Y2K.
Oh, yes.
I have to talk about Y2K.
Yeah.
I was going to skip over Y2K, but I can't.
All right, let's skip over Y2K.
Yeah.
Okay. So my parents were also preppers. So picture this. They were homeschoolers, right? My stepdad, Mike, was from Richfield, Utah. And the Mormons over in Richfield are a breed of their own because they're like a cross between Mormon and FLDS. Like, it's just a weird hybrid crossover, right? Like, they're so similar that there's really, like, you're just dressed different and you don't have an extra wife at that point.
Yeah.
And the profit's different and almost everything else is the same, right? So we had our food storage, and for some reason, my mom and stepdad were totally convinced that the city of Salt Lake was going to erupt into fires and earthquakes, and the city was going to be in wrecks, right? So we moved to American Falls, Idaho. We moved there like the September before 2000.
To be safe.
Yeah. So like September of 1999, we moved to Idaho to be safe, right? And we were there until about like February or March, until like they knew it was past. Like, nothing had happened in Salt Lake. Yeah. Nothing happened. That's my
favorite part about those predictions is when it doesn't happen, I'm all, so what do you think happened?
Well, the default response is, well, God was just testing us. It's a reset. So they reset for another apocalypse.
Yeah, I think they took it as they were righteous enough that the Lord skipped over us.
Yeah.
Cool. It's going to keep happening.
Yeah.
Those things are never right. Like, come on, we just need one good apocalypse. Just one good one. Just one good one.
One really good apocalypse.
Yeah.
So then in 2000, we moved back to Salt Lake, and I'm 15 at this point. And we're living in a house off of like West Temple, and it's literally directly across from the Christmas box house. Okay? And I had no idea what the Christmas box house was. So in this house, it's a 2-bedroom. Okay? It's a 2-bedroom house. There's an enclosed porch, and then there's a like dining room off the side of a bedroom. Really bad layout, right? And in that house, it was Cindy, me, my sister Kay, my stepsister, and her husband Richard, and their 4 children.
So they came back.
They came back
again.
again.
With them. Oh.
Yes, again. Yeah. Yeah. Because, you got to forgive the pedophiles in your family.
Of course.
But you abandon your children.
Children again.
But abandon your brother, but
take
back the pedophile.
Yeah. So they moved back in, and I really, I was hoping I was going to be able to go to school again. Like, hoping I was going to be able to go to school again, right? And they wouldn't let me. And that year I started having really bad panic attacks. And I remember having a really, really bad panic attack at girls' camp because I had to go home in 2 days, and I didn't want to go home. They ended up sending me home that day because I had a panic attack. And I ended up going to the hospital because it was so bad. Like, they called an ambulance up to girls' camp and sent me home. So that was like even more anxiety. And then I got in trouble for having a panic attack because I was putting on a show. Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I had gotten my first email address when I was 15 because I wanted to keep track of like friends that I made in Oregon and Washington and keep in touch with them, right? So I started getting these really nasty, explicit emails for like several months, and they were coming from this this email address called Captain Nemo, and it was a secret admirer who knew me, who was watching me, and it freaked me the fuck out, right? And it went on for months, and I didn't know who it was. And then my sister, Kay, she got married. So she got married, and she left. Like, it was, I want to say it was the 19th of December that she got married, okay? So I'm not happy because it's now my responsibility to cook every single dinner, to clean the whole house. And then I was also babysitting 4 kids. Like, when I wasn't out selling mistletoe door to door, I was stressed the fuck out.
This is like, you know, the show Shameless. Have you ever watched Shameless?
It's like Mormon version.
Shameless. That's what I'm thinking. It's like the Mormon version of Shameless. The kids are just left to fend for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, I would say that we were feral, raised feral.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
For a while. So it was like the 23rd of December, and sleeping in my bed, and I wake up to Richard's hands down my pants and up my shirt, and he is trying to assault me. And so I start screaming bloody murder and kicking, and he finally leaves, right? So I know at that point my parents aren't going to help me, right? Why would they help me? This man has been terrorizing me since I was 10 years old. It's been 5 full fucking years of this man terrorizing me, right? So I called up a young women's leader that I trusted, and I told her what was going on, and I'm like, I can't stay. Like, I have to get away. So she picked me up, and she like downloaded the emails or sent them to herself or something. So there was proof of all those emails. And then she took me to the police station, and we filed a police report. And that night, my brother-in-law was arrested. So the 23rd. So the next day is Christmas Eve. So I get home that night around 9 o'clock because it took a really long time to do the police interview, the JVC interview, the whole taped thing. And I had to repeat my story so many times, right? So I get home about 9 o'clock, and my young women's leader just drops me off, and she doesn't come inside. And my parents are furious with me, like nothing I have ever seen before, right? And of course, my stepdad picks me up by my neck, slams me up against the wall, and tells me I have to recant. That it's not what happened, that I misinterpreted his hand placement, that he was sleepwalking, that he didn't mean it, that I was lying, right?
Yeah.
He tripped and fell in your room.
Right.
And landed on you. Yeah.
Must have tripped and fell,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So, so they stick me in this closet, and I was there for most of the night, and then I just went to my bed. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not staying here.
Yeah.
Because I had a very much fuck you attitude at that point. And I don't think I felt any love for my parents at that point either, which is interesting in itself. But so the next morning was Christmas, right? Right. And my parents, my mom is telling me, you don't deserve Christmas, but we're going to give you this one present anyway. And so I open it up, and I kid you not, it's an FLDS dress, like FLDS style dress, from
Button to the top.
all the way down to the wrists. Oh, it came down to, like, the waist came down to my hips, and then it was floor length, and they made me try it on. And I was throwing a tantrum because I'm like, I am not wearing this. I'm not wearing this. And they made me try it on. And I'm like, I had no idea what was going to happen. Yeah. I don't know what that dress meant.
Yeah.
But like were they going to start making me dress like FLDS girls? Because why? I don't know. I don't understand that. But that next night is when I ran. Like, the night of the 26th. I'm like, I can't stay. This is bad. Like, no one is coming to save me. Mm-hmm. And also, at this time, I forgot to tell you, right? Richard gets bailed out on the 24th, Christmas Eve, by the bishop.
By the bishop
of my ward.
The
by
bishop
the bishop
bails him
of
out.
Harmony Park Ward in Salt Lake. Bailed out my creepy brother-in-law after he assaulted me, after he was arrested, after my young women's leader had just helped me gather up all that evidence and help me try to, like, report it and get away. The bishop decides that he's repentant, bails him out of jail because he took a Book of Mormon. He's like, he's so repentant, you know. He's such a good guy. Such a good guy.
Why does religion consistently protect predators?
They do.
Consistently. Mm-hmm. And it's the male figures in the church that do it. So it's like, are they predators too? Do they feel like we need to stick together, you know? Mm-hmm. Because if what he does is bad, then what I do is bad. So what he does can't be bad. So, you know, he's forgiven.
Right.
You know, but women, it's like Jesus Christ. If you have a cup of coffee or you show your shoulders, you're
God forbid,
a horrible
you show
person.
Your shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this man can assault me in my bed.
Yeah.
He can assault me for 5 years, and he's still a good guy that's repentant.
Yeah.
So the Bishop of Harmony Park Ward bailed him out on the 24th of December, and he put him up in a motel. And because it was the end of the month, he gave him money and everything and food. God. And then, do you know what this motherfucker did? He skipped bail. Imagine that. The pedo skips out on his bail. Yeah. So he moved from Salt Lake City to Mesa, Arizona on the church's dime. And when he got to Mesa, Arizona, they immediately put him in nursery.
In nursery.
This is the man who I had caught sliding his fingers up my sister's shorts while he was holding her. What do you think he's doing to the babies? The same goddamn thing.
Yep.
The same goddamn thing. So, sorry.
Okay.
Church is the most dangerous place for children.
It is.
So dangerous.
It is.
It's so dangerous. You know, because you have people like Richard Daniel Forrester in your nursery. Like,
yeah.
You have predators and people who are complicit in it.
Anyone who was in a ward with Richard Daniel Forrester, like, I think he was in primary in the Harmony Park ward too. Like, I think he was in nursery too. So if you were in the Harmony Park ward in 2000 with Richard Daniel Forrester, your child was likely assaulted by him. And people need to understand this. Yeah. So I'm going to fast forward just a little bit and we're going to skip over. So he, my mom and stepdad, continued to let him and my stepsister move back in with them after I was removed from the home. Okay. I don't know what their malfunction was, but like they continued over and over and over again to let this man in their house around the children, right? Didn't do anything about it. Well, he was finally caught again, and it was the end of 2011. So I was contacted in 2012 when I still lived in Pensacola when they found him. And so at that point, like I had to do like a virtual testimony that I could use for the Mesa courts. So at that point, he was charged with 40 felonies. 40 felonies, and those felonies include child rape, kidnapping, assault, and child exploitation material that he created.
This is
from his
after the
victims.
bishop bailed him out.
This is after the bishop bailed him out.
Good job, Bishop.
Yeah, way to go, fucking
Yeah.
bishop. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, yeah. So when I finally ran away on the 26th, I ran to St. Mark's Hospital because I knew they couldn't turn me away. Like I had run away so many times at that point. I knew where I couldn't run to, like where they would be charged for harboring a runaway, and where I would put other people in danger. So I went straight to a hospital, and I told them what was happening, and I told them I was suicidal. So they kept me, and then within 24 hours, I was in state custody. By the 29th of December, I was testifying in front of court against my mom and my stepdad, and had their parental rights dissolved. So at this point, I'm 16, and I've testified against my father, my stepfather, my mother, and another stepfather. You know?
Good God.
Yeah, so the state dissolved their parental rights because of the history and everything.
So when you were running to the hospital, what was going through your head? I mean, what made you think of the hospital? Was it
Because I had seen on a show that someone ran to a hospital. I think I literally watched it on TV and got the idea off of TV. And it just happened
Smart move.
to work, right?
Yeah.
And the whole way I was running, I kept looking behind me because I had ran away before, and my stepdad and mom would follow me in the van, and if there was snow, they could trace my footprints. So there was still a little bit of snow left on the ground, so I remember like running from alleyway to alleyway, trying to make it so confusing, running around trash cans, just trying to make it so they couldn't follow any footprints or any trace of me. And so I was like looking behind me and running, and I mapped it out. Actually, it's almost 3 miles away from the house that I ran to. Yeah,
So you're running for your life, essentially.
yeah, essentially running for
Yeah,
my
well, that's
life.
exactly what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up getting put at the Christmas box house, which was directly
You're
across
across
from
the
my
street from your house.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Girl, hey.
Hi guys. So I watched them move away without me also. So I, remember being on the way to school for the first time since I was 11, and I was in the car with all the other girls, and I remember watching my family load up the moving van and, move
Was it-
away without me.
Was
Like,
it
I didn't-
relief or mixed feelings?
Both. Because no matter how bad your parents are, you still want to be loved. You
Yeah.
still want to be accepted. No matter who your parents
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was surreal watching them leave me behind. Like they had done my brother before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he abandoned your brother, yeah.
And your little sister at that point, how old was she?
Cindy was 9. She was turning 10 that January on the 28th. And I have no idea what happened to her between the ages of 10 and 17 because I didn't speak to my mother. I didn't speak to anyone in my family besides my sister Kay and my brother E that had guardianship of me. So I only spoke to like 2 of my family members in over 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm in state custody now, and I'm 16, barely 16, right? My birthday was on the 28th of December. My parents' parental rights were dissolved on the 29th. Like, happy sweet 16.
Yeah.
Bittersweet, really, really bittersweet. But I was in the group home for a couple months, and then they placed me in a kinship placement with my brother E. He was 21, so he's 6 years older than I am. I was 21, he was 16, and he was already married. And I'll use his wife's name because she deserves it. And
You were 16.
I was 16. He's 21. Yeah. I should just say his name. His name's Eric. Fuck it.
We can cut anything out too, by the way. So
Eric deserves it too, honestly.
Hear that?
Eric. Yeah, I hear that, Eric. Okay, so I get placed in a kinship placement with Eric and Sarah. And Eric's 21 and Sarah's 21, right? And so I call them my brother dad and my sister mom. And, you know, things are going okay for a little bit. I'm going to, like, Granite High. They just, like, stuck me in 9th grade. Just stuck me in high school.
just dropped you in there.
Just
Yep.
seriously dropped me in there. I had not been to school since the 5th grade, okay? Like, it was so jarring and shocking for me. Like, I couldn't figure out. Right? Like, I couldn't figure out how to open a locker.
Yeah.
Like, just weird things. I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
So I was readjusting to that. And then I was, like, working as full-time as I could. I worked at Harmon's, and then I was taking Taekwondo with my brother because he wanted to open his own dojo. So he was training. He already had his black belt, and he thought it was a really good outlet for my anger, which it was.
Yeah.
Which it was, because I stopped sleeping with knives. So that was cool, right?
That's always a step in the right direction.
Right?
Yeah, well, you're no longer sleeping with knives.
Yeah.
Things are going well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so about 6 months, it was exactly, about 6 months after they got custody of me, Eric got a job in Florida, in Pensacola, with the EPA, like doing water testing and stuff, because they have really bad water down there. So we moved to Pensacola from Utah. And so that was cool. It didn't, like, there was a house already lined up when we went. It was great. He had bought a house. Like, it was a cute little 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with a pool in the back. It was really expensive, like under $80,000 for everything, right?
Wow.
Like, great deal for a house. And it had a pool. It was adorable, right?
Yeah.
So we move in August, okay? So I was taken away in, like, December. So this is 9 months after I was taken away. Exactly 9 months that we get there. And the first week that we're there, my brother Eric makes friends with the young men's leader named Milton.
In the ward there.
Mm-hmm, in the ward there, yeah. So Eric makes friends with Milton, like, really fast. Milton is 28, and he is a 2nd lieutenant in the Air Force, and he's in pilot school, and he's divorced, okay? So that's who he is. And he decided to ask my brother if he could do laundry at our house, because he didn't like the apartment laundry that was there, he said. So, yeah. So he started coming over. It was within 3 weeks from the time that we moved to Florida to when he started coming over. So he like targeted me really fast. And he knew I didn't have parents because I would call Eric my brother dad. Okay. I called Sarah my sister mom. I thought it was funny. And so I would do it to embarrass them.
Yeah.
We were 16, right?
I was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. So he knew I didn't have parents. And, you know, he started asking about like my past because I have crazy stories, right? Like the Mexican mafia chasing after us. I was 12 before I finally didn't believe the Mexican mafia was after us. Like before I realized,
Yeah.
Mexican mafia is probably not after my mom.
Yeah.
You know, like why would they want us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wanted to hear about like my homeschooling stories and selling door to door and like all these crazy things that I had done in my short 16 years. And then like he would bring his flight school stuff too sometimes, and I would do homework, and he would tell me how smart I was, how I was so incredible that I was able to catch up, and so many people aren't able to catch up.
You're so mature for your age.
You're so mature for your age. You were able to just like go back and pick up these things and relearn it, and you're so resilient, and wow, you're just so beautiful. And, you know, all
Kind
this
of love
stuff.
bombing you.
Yes. And then the church was on, okay, so the church that we went to, it's on 9th Avenue, and it's directly across from PJC, Pensacola Junior College. And that's where I was going to school. I had to go to adult high school, because I had no credits. I had 0 credits. None. Like, I was still learning, like, decimals and shit when they took me out of school. So I had to relearn everything. Like, I had to start back with basic math and redo that, and then work myself up to algebra and algebra 2. So it was something I was really proud of myself on, too. And I think he took that, and he ran with it. You know, he's like, oh, this is how I can get her. So I also worked, like, so the school was here, the mall was, okay, so school was here, the mall was here, and then the church was here. Like, they were all within a few blocks of each other. And he lived right over by the church. His apartment was there. So I would walk over to the church trying to get a ride home because I didn't want to walk the 4 miles.
Yeah.
And I couldn't afford a taxi at 16, you know? And my brother wasn't able to come pick me up because he was working full-time and Sarah was working full-time. So Milton would come pick me up, and he would be there when I called him, you know, all the time. And then he'd be like, hey, do you want to go run errands with me? I got to go on base and we can go run errands. And then he's like, oh, do you want to see the plane that I'm going to fly? And maybe I can sneak you in there. And, you know, he's like, oh, maybe I can take you flying sometime. And like all this stuff. And then so like all this happened within a short amount of time, like a month before he met me, before he was kissing me, okay? And then probably a few weeks after that, it became like a sexual relationship. I was 16, he was 28, okay? Just very clear, right? My brother knew, Sarah knew, and Sarah, since I moved in with them, had been asking every boy I dated if they were gonna marry me. And she like scared off all the normal ones. So
Was she eager to get rid of you?
yes, they were eager to get me married off. And part of that was my parents pushing, and part of that was the church pushing. But yeah, their goal was to get me married off as soon as possible. So at 16, Sarah's telling me, you need to be thinking about getting married. Who are you gonna marry? Right? Like, I don't
course.
even have a high school diploma
You
yet.
old hag.
I can't even open a fucking locker,
Yeah.
right? Because I've been so isolated.
Or
and
a
you
checking
want-
account, but you
or
should
a
get
checking
married.
account,
Yeah.
yes. But you should get married, right? It's the beginning of September, and I am in this sexual relationship with Milton, okay?
Who's also the young men's president.
Which is also the young men's president.
in the ward
who
there.
is
Okay.
28 years old.
12 years older than
Yes,
you,
12
which is a
years
big deal when it's 16 and 28.
Right.
Not when it's us.
Right.
For now.
Right.
Yeah.
Not when it's like you're over 30
Yeah.
when you meet.
Yeah.
When you're 16 and he's 28, like
That's
that
a huge
development,
difference.
It's so different. And I was less than a year out of being taken from my parents.
Yeah.
Okay? Right? I had no parents looking out for me. I had a brother that wanted me to work to pay rent while I was 16 and made me buy my own food and my own clothes while he had guardianship of me. So he took advantage of me, right?
This is Milton, correct?
No, that
Well, that's Eric that made me pay
the
rent.
brothers, her brothers, Eric Milton's the
Yeah. Eric made me pay rent at
perfect.
16, which I found out is legal. You cannot charge a foster child rent.
yeah. Wasn't he getting paid to have you too?
Yeah,
That was your rent.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a state placement. So, I mean, I was covered, like, in Utah, I was covered by, Utah state insurance, and they could have gotten me on Florida state insurance also. Yeah, but he made me buy my own food, my own clothes, pay rent. He wanted like $500 a month for rent back then. Okay?
What a piece of shit.
Okay, so here
Yeah.
I am, 16, paying about $1,000 a month in bills every month to my brother. Okay? And I've got Milton saying he wants to marry me, and I'm so great. And then he's like, oh, well, if you don't have money for clothes, let me take you shopping for clothes. So then he took me clothes shopping, and, he's like, well, I'll take care of you. And that's when he's like, I'm going to marry you, blah, blah, blah. And that's when the sexual relationship began, right? So then on September 11th, I was at Adult High, and, the towers were hit. So most of us were put in the same classroom, and that's where I met my kid's dad. And he was 18, and he had just signed up for the military.
Oh, unfortunate timing. Really
He
bad.
signed up on September 8th. And September 11th comes, and he's like, yep, I'm going to war. And he wasn't just enlisted. He enlisted as 11 Bravo, and he was slotted to go to Ranger School. So he was slotted for Special Forces already. Yeah. So I met him on September 11th after I was already in a relationship with Milton. Okay. And I knew that he was going to basic training, my kid's dad, he was going to basic training on January the 3rd. Like, we already knew this. And I'm like, don't get too attached. Don't get too attached.
Yeah.
So I start hanging out with this guy from school because he's 18. He's a lot of fun. And he doesn't see me as broken, right? So we're just having a good old time. And Milton, of course, gets jealous that I'm hanging out with a boy my own age. And I remember we started having squabbles then because he didn't want me to tell anybody about the relationship, and I didn't quite understand why. I'm like, why does that matter? Like, we can just get married and it'll be fine. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, it made sense to me at 16. Okay. So my kid's dad went to basic. Like, we meet in September, middle of September, and he like goes to basic January 3rd. So I'm still dating Milton because this other guy is gone, and we'd only known each other for 2.5 months total. So I'm still kind of dating Milton, but I really want to date this other guy because he's way more fun. And he doesn't worry about like the length of my shorts and if I want to wear a tank top, because I wanted to wear a tank top and stuff that didn't go with garments. And Milton, he wanted to make sure that my clothes would be acceptable for garments later. And my kid's dad, he didn't care.
So he forgave you for the sex, but not for what you were wearing.
Yeah. So the sex with the 16-year-old,
That's
that
fine.
was totally okay. Totally okay.
Yeah.
But I had to wear clothes that would be garment acceptable, acceptable for garments. And
The
cover my
appearance of
garments.
innocence.
The appearance of innocence. Yeah, super weird. So we are now to April of 2002. Okay, so I'm finally 17. My kid's dad is still away at basic training in AIT because, he was he went from AIT straight to jump school. And then he was supposed to go straight from jump school to dive school and then to ranger school. That was his path that was laid out already. So April comes around and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? Because Sarah is pressuring me to get married. She's like, you need to choose who you're going to marry. Are you going to marry him or are you going to marry Milton? Blah, 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 blah.
Should be picking out your prom dress,
I
not,
should have
not
been
your
picking out
husband.
my prom
Yeah.
dress. Yeah, right? Or going to the mall with my friends. Or trying funky toe socks. Or
Literally anything else.
Or maybe getting my hair cut in the salon for
Yeah.
the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get my nails done.
Yeah.
Maybe I could go to a water park.
Yeah.
All these things that kids
Yeah,
want
there's
to
a
do.
lot of firsts that aren't marriage.
So it's like April of 2002, and I am being pressured. And of course, my kid's dad, Heath, he's still gone at basic and AIT. So I go to one of my friends who was the same age as me, and I'm like, look, I got to make this decision. Like, I'm being pressured, and I don't know which one to choose, right? So she's like, thinking, okay, that's fucked up because you're dating Milton, which is the young men's president, and that motherfucker's almost 30, right?
Yeah.
So she goes to the bishop, like a child should. And
Yeah.
she's like, this is concerning. So the bishop called us in separately. He called Milton in first, and Milton gave his account. And then the bishop called me in, and he didn't let me explain anything. He asked me if I was in a relationship with him, and I said yes. And he told me I was a whore, and he told me I would never see the inside of the temple walls. And the next week, I had to do the bishop's council, where they formally disfellowshipped me, where I didn't get to tell my story again, and they continued to blame it all on me. So I didn't understand at that point that it was illegal. Okay,
I was going to say, aren't you a minor and he's an adult?
Yeah. I was a
They
minor.
didn't bring that part up at all.
And Florida has a duty to report. Pensacola has a duty to report specifically. But Pensacola also has a weird law. So in Pensacola, you can be 16 and date a 24-year-old and not get charged because they have the Naval Air Base there. It is a specific loophole in the law they came up with because they kept having to charge airmen and Navy and these soldiers for sleeping with underage girls, so they changed the
So
law.
instead of punishing them and
just
they
modified the
decided
law.
to modify
But
the
Milton was still out of that.
Yeah.
I was 17 and he was now 29.
Yeah.
So there's no way that he fits within that age anyway.
Yeah.
And so he didn't even fit in that little loophole. But the bishop made me feel like it was completely my fault that I was a little slut and that I seduced him. So
I love that. I love the children seducing adults.
Yeah, right?
the excuse.
Right?
Like, oh yeah,
I
that
was
makes
really
sense. Yeah.
cute, though. I mean, I was super cute.
Yeah.
I looked like I was 12.
Yeah, which is even, yeah.
Like, I
worse.
looked young.
Yeah.
There's a picture on my TikTok, and it's the first picture I posted, and it was after Sarah had asked the first boy I brought home if he was going to marry me. So it was when the marriage pressure started, and I posted that picture specifically because it shows that I look about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
I look so
Yeah.
young, and I can't imagine pressuring like a child to get married, right? Right? So so now it's May, okay?
You're disfellowshipped.
I'm disfellowshipped. Yeah. I'm disfellowshipped, and Heath, my kid's dad, he comes home in between training, and he takes me to adult high school prom. So I did get to go to a prom.
Yeah.
And then on his way back from that, he ended up getting in an accident and rolling his truck, and he almost lost his legs. So it popped the bone out of his foot, and he had to get like screws and pins in his foot, and he had to heal. So then ranger school had to be put off until he was fully healed. So he had just finished jump school. He hadn't gone to dive school yet, and he hadn't gone to ranger school. So come June, I'm still kind of dating Heath, and we've only really so he left in January. I didn't see him again until May, right? That's
Yeah.
5 months. So we've known each other a full 3 months now.
Yeah.
Right? And Sarah tells me, you have to get married, right? Because she found out I was having just sex with my kid's dad. Just why does it matter? I'm not a virgin. I have no innocence to protect. Why does it matter if I use my body in the way that I want? I'm 17 years old. This boy is a year and a half older than me. He's 18 at this point.
Yeah.
And so my brother says, well, if you're not going to follow the rules and you're going to have sex, you have to get married. So he says, if he does not marry you, I'm going to have him charged for statutory rape. This is an 18-year-old kid. This is an 18-year-old kid, right? Sweet, sweet boy.
Yeah.
Sweet boy, right? And he's not even 19 yet. And my brother's like, well, if you don't marry her, I'm going to charge you a statutory rape. Why didn't you try that with
I was
Milton?
going to say, where was that at with
Milton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got married July 19th of 2002. Eric and Sarah put me and my kid's dad in the back seat, and they drove us to Alabama, where we bought a marriage license that day and got married that day. I didn't have a wedding dress. I didn't have a party afterwards. There was no celebration. It's just, that was it.
Married, done.
And then 3 days later, he was moved to his first duty station, which was Hawaii. And so I went 2 weeks later. So I showed up on August 9th in Hawaii. And then I got pregnant with my oldest, Audrey, right after I got there. So I found out I was pregnant on his 19th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. So here I am. I'm 17. He's 19. We're in Hawaii. He's on training. He's off on training. And I can't leave my house past 10 p.m. because I'm still a minor and I'm not allowed to be on base after 10 p.m. without an adult present.
God.
But you're married and you're
But
pregnant.
I'm married and I'm pregnant. And I'm a wife, an Army wife at this point. Yeah. It was insane. I ended up meeting, there was a girl who lived across the parking lot from us in military housing. Her name's Chelsea. And she got married when she was 16. She had her baby and then got married. So pregnant at 15, then married at 16. And I met her when she was 19. So we were about a year and a half apart. And she had her little baby, Ari, and I was already pregnant. So we hit it off great. And I met some incredible women there. I really think that the other Army wives, and there were a few select women that I went to church with, I think they're the reasons why I turned out to be a good parent, honestly. Because it was really tough. So, like, I got there, and then literally 3 days later, my kid's dad, he went on training, so he flew to Georgia and left me in Hawaii. I didn't know anyone, right? I'm 17. I have no credit cards. I have no bank accounts. I can't open my own bank account. I can't open my own credit card. I can't even get car insurance on my own, right? And, like, I'm stuck, pretty much. So I knew probably about 3 months after I got pregnant that I had made a mistake. Like, I knew it wasn't going to be a great situation, right? But what do you do when you're 17 and you're pregnant and you have no family to look out for you?
And you're on an island.
Yeah. So I just, I went back to church. Yep.
Well, you're looking for family or community or some
I went
kind of
back to
sense of
church.
security.
Yeah, I was looking for family or community. So my husband ended up deploying when my daughter was 7 months old. So I was 18 with a 7-month-old in Hawaii, all on my own, right? And so I think, so I'm teaching primary. I was in the Sunbeams at this point, and the Sunbeams are the 3 and 4-year-olds, and they're adorable. It makes so much sense to have a pregnant 17-year-old teaching children.
Yeah.
Like, so much sense.
Preparing you for the rest of your life of motherhood. Yeah,
right. So BYU Hawaii was also on the island that I lived on, and I had some friends that were going to BYU that were married and they had kids, and they suggested that I apply too. So I put my application all together. I did everything I could. Like, I had just graduated from adult high, and I was so proud of myself. I was so proud of myself because I had to do some correspondence work after I got married and pregnant and moved to Hawaii to get my diploma, and I was able to accomplish that. So I applied to go to BYU, and my bishop tells me, "You're not BYU material. I'm not going to write a letter of recommendation for you."
Really?
I've never had the opportunity to go back to college. I could have gotten a scholarship, but I wasn't worthy enough. And I believe it's whatever they put on my records when I was disfellowshipped, because it was about a year after that. So they stopped me from going to college. And when, you grow up like I did, education's intimidating as it is, okay? And I was trying to just catch up with everything else in life because I had only been away from my parents now for 2 years, right? I'd only been it's only been 2 years. It hasn't even been that long.
And you're married and in Hawaii and you have a baby.
Yeah, and I have a baby and I'm a military wife and my husband's deployed and I have all these responsibilities.
And you go back to the church
Yeah.
and you're trying to go to BYU and Hawaii. Like there's just so many stories where the church and bishops. Like, they fail women. They fail women and girls. You have these people that actually want to be part of your religion, and you just push them down. Like, just stay in your spot, stay in your lane.
Yeah, it's something I don't really understand is why they keep all these pedophiles in their church. I mean, they were able to disfellowship a 17-year-old girl so easily.
Yeah,
and remove me.
But they sent your brother-in-law
to nursery.
Yeah, to go
abuse
do nursery,
tinier kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Milton wasn't punished at all. He was removed from Young Men's a few weeks later, and then he started going to the singles ward, but there was no punishment.
He wasn't disciplined at all.
He wasn't disciplined at all. He should have been disciplined he should have been court-martialed for it.
And
he should have went to jail for it. But I didn't understand. And I didn't understand this until I was probably in my mid-20s, right? Well, the statute of limitations is 21. I would have had to have known what happened to me by the time I was 21. So by the time I reported it to the police, it was 2008. And I was past my statute of limitations because I was 25 at that point. And so...
Unbelievable.
He still works with teenagers. He owns his own plane. He's still got his pilot's license. And he lives in Utah and Rexburg, Idaho. So...
Wow.
No punishments whatsoever.
Probably still a member of the church.
Yeah, he's still a member of the church.
Of course he is.
Yeah. So so we have to fast forward a little bit for this. We have to fast forward a lot because it's really relevant, and I don't think it fits in another story. Okay. So in 2022, my sister Rebecca died. She caught COVID. She went in on a Friday, and by that Monday she had passed away from COVID. So I went to California to go to her funeral, and her best friend Melanie was there. And Melanie can suck it. I don't care.
Suck it, Melanie.
Yeah, suck it, Melanie.
So Melanie was there, and she was like taking over the whole thing. This is my sister, right? And this lady was like, no, we're going to do this for the funeral. We want to eat here. And I'm like, lady, you may have been her friend, but you weren't her sister, okay? Anyway, so we just clashed, and then we were at my sister's house, and Melanie was there with my brother-in-law. Mind you, this is my brother-in-law. My sister started dating him when I was 6. I've known him since I was 6 years old, all right? And at this point, I'm like 30. Wait, what year was that? 2020. So 38, okay? Known him my entire life, right? So I'm helping them clean up the house, and I see my brother-in-law and Melanie holding hands after my sister's funeral. So it turns out they've been having an affair for years, at least 10 years. So they got together kind of after my sister died. Well, okay, so when I left the church, Becky and her husband cut me off because I was no longer Mormon and because I would be a bad influence, right? And so when she passed away, we were currently going back and forth because my sister has a child that identifies as they, them, he, him, and they were born as a female, okay? So my sister thought that it was best to send a child that identifies as they, them, he, him to Young Women's. And I had a real problem with that. And I'm like, are you trying to make your kid kill themselves? Like, what are you doing here? And we just were not seeing eye to eye. Well, I find out that this relationship's been going on for like 10 years behind her back. So Frank moves in with Melanie and her husband in Utah, in Eagle Mountain, after my sister passes away. And Melanie's husband doesn't know. And then Melanie's husband catches Frank and Melanie cheating on each other in his house. Right? They're very Mormon. This is the family that wouldn't let me see my nieces and nephews after I left the church because I was a bad influence.
Yeah.
You're fucking your best friend's wife.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on here? So, they ended up getting married in 2023, and I was looking through her Facebook because Milton kept popping up on my Facebook as a suggested contact. And I found out that Melanie is first cousins with Milton. Like, their dads are brothers.
Wow.
So this motherfucker is now around my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell do I do with that?
Yeah.
Like, I have to, like, I feel compelled to tell everyone now because I have to keep my nieces and nephews safe.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, why wouldn't he target them?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't he say, wow, you're so smart?
And you can't guarantee,
I
like,
know
you can't
your
rely on
mom
the
just
parents.
died.
Yeah.
I know your mom just died a few years ago, but let me take you up in my plane. You
Yeah.
know? Like, is he going to do that to
Yeah.
them?
Oh, of course.
Like,
If given the opportunity.
how frightening is that? Like, how does that even
Bizarre
work?
coincidence.
Yes. What a fucking bizarre coincidence. I hadn't thought about him in years. I just tried to forget it and just write it off. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. There's no point in talking about it. And then he started showing up on my FYP on my Facebook. And then I found out he was Melanie's first cousin. And I'm like, fuck this shit.
God.
I'm telling everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, because he's a predator.
Yes, because he's a
Yeah.
predator.
Maybe a slightly different kind of predator, but he's a predator. He's the predator that people trust comes in. Oh, I'll marry you. 16 and 28. That's a predator.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
What did I do?
Did you spread the word?
I spread the word.
Okay.
I told my nieces and nephews, I'm like, this guy's a pedophile. So I don't know if they told Melanie. I don't want to talk to Melanie.
Yeah.
She can go fuck off. She was, cheating on, like, having a relationship with my brother-in-law. Like,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be her best friend.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be her best friend. And she crossed that line. And it seems like they've been taking family pictures together for at least 12 years.
And then she had the gall to want to control the funeral.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! I'm like, ah! So, yeah, she's in funeral pictures from my sister's funeral. And she's, like, standing right beside Frank. And I'm like, this is fucked up. This is bullshit. You know what? They got married in the temple.
Oh, really? God.
So they are now married in the temple.
The things that the church sees as okay and the things they see as not okay, it baffles me. It's
So backwards.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
So backwards.
You allowed yourself to be taken advantage of by a 28-year-old though, so you're disfellowshipped.
I know.
He gets a freaking promotion basically.
Should have known better. Should have known better.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean you're a child. You should know better.
yeah. How dare I not have parents to look out for me? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sickening.
Yeah, so that's about up to 18. And then I think we should do Cindy on another
Yeah.
on another episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can wrap it
We
up.
can wrap it up here.
Okay.
Okay, well, so we're gonna cheers.
So this is episode 1 of possibly 2 or 3, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to continue on with
Yes, the
Stephanie's
story's not
story.
over.
Yes.
Here's our gin and tonics.
We always cheers, at
Cheers.
the end. Cheers, the outer darkness.
Cheers.
Thank you, Steph.
Cheers. Cheers to showing the Mormon Church for what it really is.
Yeah. Shit show.
Well, and with that.
Yeah.